Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best here are around.
No, I am not going to start like I did last time. Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike.
Oh, you asshole.
That's the way you started the last one.
Welcome, Mike.
Yeah,
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
This sounds too creepy. We can't keep doing this.
It's the PBS version, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But we still don't know what our names are. What's your name?
I forgot.
Raymond Aloysius Bernardicius?
It's Ray the Roadie.
Ray the Roadie.
That's right.
Okay. You sure? We don't want to just call you like Ray Road? Or,
Maybe. Or Ray Rod.
Ray Rady?
That would be like my porn name.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Isn't your porn name the name of your first pet and the first street you lived on?
There's all kinds of different ones like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But I'll tell you what, though, if that were the truth, though, I have the best porn name in the world. I do. My name would be Dexter Avers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a porn name if I've ever heard
mine
one.
would be Petey Francisco.
Oh my God. You win.
Amore.
Yeah. At least it's not
REVDOG.
Reverend Dog Face Shithead in the Herd or whatever the hell.
Something like that.
Whatever the hell their name is.
They get.
Thanks for coming in.
That's
exactly why we had to shorten it to REVDOG.
That's why they're REVDOG and
Welcome
they're
to
here.
the studio. We have REVDOG in the studio, everybody.
I may have the best porn name, Smoky Maplewood.
Oh,
Not
jeez.
bad. Not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Smoky Maplewort. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I know a guy. He would have been Harry Elm.
Oh,
Good.
We could do this all night long.
We could do I was just thinking we should start a podcast of porn names.
Porn names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Might go somewhere or might go nowhere. So tell us all about REVDOG.
well, now with that entry, I don't even know where to go from there.
Yeah. You got to tell us now. How did the name start?
So yeah, everything else is going to be
It
disappointment.
wasn't REVDOG. It wasn't REVDOG and the Reverend with the shithead. And like I said, it was
It was
something else.
Yeah, we started off as Reverend the Dog Man in the Herd.
That's it.
We still go by that. The process of picking a band name was pretty frustrating.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, with the
Absolutely
invention
terrible.
of Google, you come up with a cool band name and somebody's got it.
No, even back in the day, if we can all remember this, MySpace, you'd find the most two random words that you could put together.
Yeah.
And you look and be like, oh no, somebody's got that name already.
Yeah.
It's out there already.
So we took a hodgepodge of all the names we had. And then we play. We call it Blues-Infused Classic Rock. It's a lot of rock songs that have been influenced by the blues, and we've been around for a while now. So we've kind of branched into some contemporary stuff too, and some pop stuff as well. But the Reverend part was influenced by the best movie of all time, The Blues Brothers. With
No, not the best movie. Well,
no, for me it is.
all right.
Reverend Cleophas, James Brown. So I was kind of envisioned myself. It's not very accurate, but that's kind of the vision I had for the leader of the band.
So you're going to wear hot pants? Ow, hot pants.
I am going to make you see the light too.
All right. So John was trying to come up with some sort of name that would associate with the blues, and he wasn't one eye or lefty or shorty, and we had to come up with some adjective to describe him, and so we kind of joke about him being the good righteous reverend. So that kind of came along, and then the Dog Man. I think John can probably cover that a little bit better than I can, but I know that for a long time he had his favorite guitar, and he actually had the bone from the leash or the collar from his dog on there a long time. So he became the Dog Man for a long time.
So yeah, that's true.
And who's the Herd?
Well, the herd came along because we felt like we needed a longer name because Reverend Dogman was just way too short.
Yeah.
And so we kind of come up with something, a quip, we could be the Destroyers. We want to have something to be the rest of the band. As we figured his kind of a pseudonym was Reverend Dogman. So we're kind of thinking about dogs and gathering people around. We said, well, herd, like to herd people around, but we didn't want to use our herd like you're herding cattle or something. So we tried to do a play on the words and make it HEARD, although we still find out that becomes somewhat problematic because a lot of venues now still times will spell it wrong. So shortening the name has probably helped out quite a bit.
So for the fits better on the marquee.
Yeah.
Right.
So and all the blues bands too, they were Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers, always somebody and the something else.
Could have been Reverend Dogman and the Flock.
That's true. We have that
We'll add it to the list.
Yeah, somebody else had it probably, so we had to move on.
Yeah. So the name kind of came back. We probably searched for a long time, and then that all came together in just about one night. And I said, okay, well, let's see what happens.
Sounds like it did.
Well, now
you can't put a lot of thought into that. That's the kind of thing that gets to go boom, diarrhea. Yeah.
we're done. Yeah.
Okay, Tim is now leaving the building. Tim, can you please come back in the building?
Well, nowadays you got AI. You can put anything you want in there, and you're going to come up with a name.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. It's scary. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. So that kind of came about with the style of music that we were trying to play and try to be a little bit different. So just not to be the average band named Diarrhea or that was out there. And
but that would be a cool name.
That's true. Yeah.
It
exactly.
is. Some punk band somewhere was called
Certainly.
Diarrhea.
Oh, sure.
One time.
certainly.
Yeah.
So that kind of just came along with the style of music that we were trying to play and to go with. So.
But then we had to branch out because we figured that we wanted to get hired, and not all the blues bands were broke and not getting hired anywhere. So we had to come up with the classic rock edge.
That's a requirement, though, to be broke.
Yes.
And have the blues.
Maybe you got to play somewhere, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So blues is it.
Well,
go ahead, Tim.
I just happen to find something just coming in hot off the press here. There's a band, Diarrhea Planet, a six-piece garage punk band from Nashville.
Diarrhea Planet.
Uh-huh.
All right, there you go.
So
Everybody has a name. It's always taken.
Yeah, they're probably shitty. Do we have a drum roll on here? There you go. Yeah.
It's AI. I'm being replaced.
Yeah, who needs these guys if you have buttons?
Do that again. Set me up again. No.
Yeah. So,
well, to describe what we play, blues-infused rock is where it started. And we've added classic rock. We've added some Motown type hits as well. In addition to John, we also have a female vocalist, so that opens up the set list to some fun songs. In my mind, what I would tell everyone is that in a world of tribute bands that play great music that we've all heard a million times and we love it. I love it too. But in that world, we're a little different. We play great music that you've probably heard, but not a million times. Some of the songs maybe you didn't hear, but they're all great songs, and you'll enjoy all of them. Danceable, fun, blues, rock, bass, and then spanning out from there.
Okay, all right. And what kind of clubs are you guys playing with this blues-infused rock and roll?
Yeah, all the local clubs, and coming up, we're branching out to a place called Tuffy's in Wilmington on the 29th.
Oh God, I've played there 1,000 times.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so you had to tell me afterwards because I took it blindly because somebody said you guys would go over well here, and so I took it blindly, and I am looking forward to it, and so that's kind of cool. And then we're got the Cubby Bear after that. We're going to open up for a great band, Joe Ryan and the AM Drinkers.
Yeah.
And
coming up in April.
Yeah, then we'll be in Naperville in Quigley's.
Yeah.
You know, the Tuffy's place is actually we should talk about it. And if anybody's wondering, we are looking for sponsorship.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, out there in Wilmington. I mean, it's not downtown Wilmington, but it's considered one of the main drags. It's right off of 53 after you pass the racetrack and the whole bit. When you first pull up to the building, you're like, okay, where are we, kind of thing, because it is pretty much like looks like a metal or a white steel corrugated shed kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the sign kind of looks like, like Tuffy's Auto Parts, and everything. But inside of it, there's a bar area. And where the bands play, there's an actual
stage.
I haven't played there in like 15 years, but there's an actual stage there, and they've got tables and everything set up, so it holds a couple hundred people or so. It's
all right.
Not a huge place, but I must have played there about 20 times. I was in a band many years ago. Again, talk about long names. It was a blues band, and we were trying to figure out same exact thing. We were trying to figure out what are we going to call it, right? So we just randomly started throwing words together, and we ended up calling it the Bubba Fats Blues Band. There was nobody in the band named Bubba. There was nobody fat.
Yeah.
There was it was just that's just what it was, right?
You didn't play blues?
Oh, we did. We did. We played there like once a month because the bass player in that band lived right down the road in Gardner.
Oh, there you go.
So he booked the band. He booked us there. So no, you guys have a good time there.
Good.
It's a good time. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then to kind of go back to the name there, there's no Reverend Dog Man in the band officially either. It's almost like a Hootie kind of a thing.
Right.
Where, so even though Darius Rucker is...
Oh, there's a Hootie.
That's true.
Yeah. It's just not him.
just not him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if people call me Rev Dog, that's much better than Hootie.
Yeah.
Right. So who put the band together? How did it all start?
I started it, and it's kind of cool. I had played with Tom before a while, and I was on hiatus.
Last Century played in the cover band.
So yeah. And it's kind of cool because it almost seems divinely inspired because me and my girlfriend, at the time, we were going to Naperville Rib Fest, and we were going to go see Styx. And we were looking forward to that and everything. And we get to the parking lot, get on the shuttle bus that's going to go over there. And we find out that Styx is sold out. And they're like,
Go figure.
So yeah. So we're like, oh man. And we're like, well, who's on the second stage? And they're like, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know a couple of his songs. I don't know if I go out of my way to see him, but he's going to be there.
Little did you know.
So yeah, and so at that point, I'm just looking forward to the bucket full of waffle fries covered in cheddar cheese, and I find out sometimes when I have lower expectations for something, I'm pleasantly surprised. And once they start playing, they go into the riff of King Bee by Muddy Waters, followed up and then up with Voodoo Child from Hendrix, and everything before that. And my hair was just boom standing up, and I left there and I said I want to play that.
Yeah.
And so I always said if I could play guitar like Kenny Wayne Shepherd and sing like Noah Hunt, a singer, I'd be happy. And I can't do either, but I'm happy trying anyway.
Yeah.
So you're unhappy.
Yeah.
So yes, I feel almost divine inspiration that those Styx was closed, and then I went to see that, and I'm like, wow, how cool is that? That I wanted to form a band after seeing that.
Yeah, no, he's spectacular. I'd seen him a few times, but where I really learned how good he actually was, I went to the Chicago Theater. Years ago, must be 12 years ago, and I saw the Experience Hendrix tour. It's a Joe Satriani show, right? It's his production, right? And the backing band that night was Living Colour.
Oh, good Lord.
Right, so you had Vernon Reed there playing guitar, right? And Buddy Guy was there that night, and Eric Gales was there, and gosh, I can't remember. Oh, and Eric Johnson was there, and of course Joe Satriani played. And I'm watching all these guys get up there, these guitar virtuosos. And what was disappointing about the show is I was looking so forward to seeing Eric Johnson and all these guys, just do what they do, right? And they seemingly were more concerned with all of the effects that Jimi Hendrix would put into his music. So you heard all the phasers and the wah pedals and all that. And there was a lot of wah crap going on with everything.
Yeah.
And I wasn't hearing them play guitar. And then Kenny Wayne Shepherd closes the show and he comes out, right? And nobody sat down. He by far played the longest. Everybody else played like 3 songs and he played like 10. He played like the last 45 minutes or so to an hour, and he was unbelievable. And I think everybody left, thinking, okay, we just need to see him next time. That's it. The guy was so good.
That's all you need.
Oh my God, he's so much better live than his recordings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, amazing. He's a name that doesn't get mentioned enough. I don't know what it is. True blues purists, for some reason, turn a deaf ear to him. I don't know why, but
And he was young when he first started.
young.
Young.
The virtuoso
Super-
type. Yeah.
Yeah, and what is it? He went to the same high school, if I'm not mistaken. He went to the same high school that Eric Johnson went to, and Johnny Lang.
Wow.
So it's like the same hospital in hospital.
Yeah.
High school. I don't know why I said
Should
hospital.
something in the water.
Yeah. And it's the same high school in Texas. produced
Johnny
those two
Lang, when
guys.
Johnny Lang hit it, he was young too.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
John, go
Good
drink
music
that water.
Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
And actually, by you mentioning that is pretty much the idea of why we had to branch out into other artists, because people were not familiar with him. He sold millions of records, but bar owners were not familiar with him or anything like that. So we had to come up with something a little more familiar.
Mainstream.
Yeah, mainstream. Yeah.
Yeah. So when John approached me, he's like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about putting a band back together, and I'm thinking about doing something a little different. We're gonna do the blues." And I come home and I tell my wife, I go, "John Lewis wants me to play another band with him." And she's like, "Well, that sounds good." And I go, "What are you gonna play?" "Oh, the blues." She's like, "The blues? Well, are you kidding me?" She's like, "Do you want to play the blues?" And I go, "Not in particular, I don't think so, but it's with John Lewis." And just to say something about the Reverend here, I go, he's a fan, is as good a person as he is a guitarist. And I mean, I think everybody can agree that musicians could possibly be slightly fickle people.
A little bit.
And just a little bit difficult to work with. And John just has to be one of the easiest people to work with. So a great musician, great person to work with. So I said, I don't care if he wants to play polka. I'm in the band. We're doing it. We're making it happen.
Yeah. You guys want a moment alone for a second?
Yeah.
I'll be happy to dim the lights.
Well, you got us all worked up on the poor names, and I just can't get off of that. Okay.
So, but then you figure he gives us good nice little speech right here, but then he won't even share an umbrella with me as we're walking to the rain over here. My goodness.
Boy, oh boy. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's listen to some blues.
I think we
Why
should.
don't we take a break and give these guys a chance to tune up? Warm
Alrighty.
up the vocalizers, and we'll be back.
Sounds good.
All right.
Be right back. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. Hey, everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike of the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast. If you've been enjoying our weekly program, we have great news for you. Just tune in to Road to Rock Radio on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, and you can hear a rebroadcast of one of our past episodes. Then again on Thursdays at 7 p.m., you can hear our most current episode brought to you by the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66.
So go to roadtorock.org, scroll down, and click on Radio Station. That'll bring you to the Road to Rock Radio, a station committed entirely to the great music from Illinois, from Chicago blues born on Maxwell Street to today's rock and roll and everything in between. 24/7, all music with its roots in Illinois.
And we are back for the first time tonight, live in the studio. We've got REVDOG.
All right.
Hey now.
Take it away.
We're gonna jam in a little song here. It's funny. My favorite movie of all time is The Blues Brothers, but the longest running song of our set list is from The Blues Brothers 2000, which is the only good thing about that movie I know is the opening scene, and you hear just a voice and clapping. Son House going, "Tell me who's that riding, John the Revelator? Who's that riding, John the Revelator? Who's that riding, John the Revelator? Hey, the book of the seven seals." So that's kind of that's another aha moment where I said, I want to play that. And then we just need to put a few instruments in there. So tell me who's that riding, John the Revelator? Who's that riding, John the Revelator? Who's that riding, John the Revelator? In the book of the seven seals. Tell me who's that riding, John the Revelator? Who's that riding, John the Revelator? Who's that riding, John the
They brought their fans again. A bunch of dudes.
So yeah,
Bunch of dudes.
Bunch of dudes came out with them. Everything. Yeah.
yeah. But you also see now, I love that stuff. But you got to get hired, so you got to branch out and do the more familiar stuff too. So.
Well, it's almost like you're playing originals, and they don't know what they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though they're not.
Yeah, so even though you got the same ZZ Top kind of boogie kind of a thing, people like to know what they're hearing.
Right.
So you can stick a few things in here and stuff like that, but
We it's funny that you mentioned that the Blues Brothers 2000. God, that was a god awful movie, wasn't it? That was just.
So you're the two.
Horrible.
You're the two that saw it.
Oh my God, it was a horrible movie. No, but the funny thing is though, what's the song New Orleans, down in New Orleans? It's the song that they do at the end of the movie where it's the big super jam and Eric Clapton's there with his horrible acting in the whole bit. Oh my God, that was terrible. I had what my daughter calls it adjacent embarrassment when you're watching a movie and you're embarrassed by somebody's performance. But anyways, yeah, Eric Clapton was awful in that. It's a good thing he plays guitar. But we performed that song in Cadillac Groove.
nice.
And there was good music in the movie. The movie itself was just terrible.
It was. There was. Exactly. Yeah, I only kid when I say it was the only good thing, but there was some good cuts in there.
Oh yeah, a lot of good songs in there. Yeah. Some newer stuff and new artists. I mean, Johnny Lang, we were just talking about him. He was in that.
Just a youngster too. Yeah,
young kid, and the Laundromat song, or I can't remember the song was.
It was. Yeah, it was a phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we do that song. We do New Orleans and Cadillac Groove, and it's one of those where the horn section walks around the crowd and everything, and it's a lot of fun. It's good music from it. Yeah.
So we need to get horns.
Yeah,
that's right. See,
you can't have ours.
Yeah, so we found out when we play venues, and you never know when you go see a concert, they do their two big hit songs, and then everybody goes, oh, we're going to do a new song for you that's coming out. That's generally when everybody goes to the washroom.
Yeah.
We find that kind of happen to some of them. Yeah, it's true. We find that kind of
all at the same time.
Yeah, right. Like a mass exodus, We don't know the song we're out here. And so we find out that, that'll be sometimes at a lot of our gigs, we'll be doing, we'll do a Rolling Songs or Doors or, again, something that was blues infused, but it's a rock song that people will know. And then you pull out a Stevie Ray Vaughan or a Johnny Lang or something, and then we see that happen. It's like, okay, everybody was dancing, and now everybody goes to the bar and gets a drink.
Yeah.
And so we try to pepper our music with enough of a classic rock, and then just throw the blues in because that's what we enjoy to do, and trying to find a nice balance between what we want to do and what the audience wants to hear.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of one of our sticking points. Like as far as picking songs, the banner says Blues-Infused Classic Rock, and we try to stick to that. Tim is really good about keeping me on that because I like to branch off, and I'm like, okay, whatever get us hired, and whatever is more flexible, and whatever will get us more fest or something like that. And because we have Amy Flynn now who's joined us, and she's a powerhouse vocalist. And my big idea, because we play in church with her. We're all church musicians, and we play in church with Amy. And she has no aspirations of being a big rock star or anything like that, but she's got this tremendous talent. And we were working with some rock stuff during COVID, I think, and stuff like that. I said, you got to bring this, come out to our shows and play the first set with us or whatever you want to do, And so I just wanted to turn her into, like I always say, like the Caucasian Coco Taylor. And I was to say, well, turn her into like Vanilla Taylor. Yeah. And I found out that that's not really. It's either in you or it's not, and it's in her, but it doesn't come naturally. So we had to play to her strengths. And it's like getting a great draft pick, on a football team or something like that. You have to work around that person's talents, and or else you're going to fail. And we found out that we had to branch off, and we branched off into the Fleetwood Mac stuff. And
Adele.
So Adele, she's Adele, and that's all really. It's kind of all bluesy based too, because we're kind of all grooving out and
Aretha Franklin, Patsy Cline.
Yeah. So, and I only know one scale, so I gotta fit that all in. It's all becomes.
We do Jolene, and I'm like, by Dolly Parton. She's like, no, by Miley Cyrus, and I'm like,
That may be pushing. No. She.
Hold on, I got a pain right there.
So at least she didn't say Beyonce.
God, that drives me crazy when people do that. It's like you work with somebody and they're like, "Hey, let's do this." Last time it happened to me was After Midnight. I only know the Eric Clapton version of After Midnight, and somebody knew a version of it by like one of these newer R&B artists that it came out literally with like the last few years with that dubstep beat to it and everything. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm sorry.
So that does bring up a good point, though.
Actually, a lot of our songs that we do that we don't even know. I mean, if you go back to a history of several of the songs that we do, they were old blues songs that most people don't even realize they were originally by a blues artist.
So absolutely. Yeah, that was kind of a cool, like something like I Just Want to Make Love to You, that from the Foghat, from Foghat. That was all Willie Dixon, and there's a different version. But I find myself getting inspired by remakes. I know it's almost blasphemy, but I find myself getting inspired by remakes of the band. Like we do American Band, and we do that because I happened to come across a video by the Dead Daisies doing it. And I was like, wow, this is such a cool song that, we got to bring it back and put it to the set list. And that's one of our favorite ones to do. Yeah. So,
another band out there that did a lot of remakes is the Stones. People think a lot of the Stones music is original stuff, and it's not.
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of bands out there. There's a lot of people. I hear it all the time. It's you mentioned a band like Pink Floyd, right? And everybody or you mentioned blues and somebody says, no, I'm a Pink Floyd fan. Well, you're a blues fan. If you're a Pink Floyd fan, you're a blues fan. You just don't realize it.
Absolutely.
They found a way to make the blues progression palatable for absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
So how you market it, it really is how you market it. You were talking about, you call yourselves Blues-Infused Rock. Right. And I'm not giving anybody advice or anything, but what I have found works better is, we play blues-infused rock. Okay. What else you got? Right. Come up with a catchy name for it. Like the person that
was our catchy name.
The person that comes to mind, and I've actually stolen this from a couple times. Tab Benoit. He refers to his music as swamp rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh.
Instead of saying it's blues with a New Orleans or Cajun sound to it. Snooze description. It's swamp rock and roll, and that's what he calls it, and that's what all of his fans know. He plays swamp rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's its own genre. And when people hear swamp rock and roll, they know it. Mm-hmm. They know that. That's why he calls it swamp rock and roll.
Interesting. Yeah. Because we're always looking for, because we know that that we're pretty much behind the eight ball because of the whole marketing thing. And it's so easy to book a tribute band because you know exactly what you're getting.
Right.
And it's hard to say we're blues, pop, country, soul, disco, and stuff like that. So that's we realize that, and but I'm not very smart. So you mentioned the song After Midnight, and that was another song that when we were starting this off, I'm like, Eric Clapton played in a beer commercial a long time ago, where he just played that song.
Oh gosh! Now I'm trying to think. Now I'm trying to think. Was it Miller High Life?
Yeah. Wait. It may have been till the 80s in the Genuine Draft.
After midnight.
That was it.
All hang out.
Until Miller found out people were waiting till midnight to drink.
And
they didn't sell that much.
Yeah. That's fine, Eric. We love it. But how about after 4 p.m.?
After breakfast. Pour yourself a Miller Lite.
So I guess at the end of the day, after all of that, is that we don't have any dissatisfied customers, but there's no pinpoint label. You're going to hear a lot of different things, and you're going to like it all. whether you've heard it before or not. It's all fun. It's all a good time.
So do you guys take do you guys take a classic rock song and blues it up, or do you take blues music and add a little rock and roll to it? Or are you pretty much playing it straight? How are you guys doing this?
If there's like a signature lick on something, we'll definitely put it in there. But definitely, if we're playing like an Adele song or something like that, which are really cool. But I definitely put the blues licks in there and everything. Like I said, I only know one scale, and you're going to hear it 100 different times that night. And so we put our own little twists on it.
We own our own brand on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think if I understand your question, though, for the most part, when we play a song that you've heard before, we'll be as close as we can to that original.
Sure.
You alluded to I forget the song title, but somebody brought up a newer version or something. No, we're going to be playing you as close as we can get to that.
Yeah, and it's all real too, because I know the backing tracks is
that's a great point
thing. This is all real. This is amps on the stage, all vocals, like them or leave them. And
the blood, the sweat, and the tears. You get it all, but it's real.
Tears. Yeah, the tears may not be ours, but
so your personality comes through in the music that you're playing. In other words, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that too. I'm the same thing. I'm the master of the pentatonic scale. I'll play that 9 Ways to Sunday.
Sure, absolutely.
And whenever I play a rock and roll song, it could be a heavy metal song, and I tell people right off the bat, I don't pretend to be a metal guitarist. I'm a blues guitarist, so you're going to hear the blues in this. I mean, it's just going to come out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, we're spring Angus Young too. So
yeah. Do you guys write any original music at all?
We have. I've got a million things waiting for release, but we've only done a couple by ourselves, and that was years ago, and we didn't really see
Pursue it.
We just didn't, whether it was time or just just it's one of those things that's in the back of our mind, and we just have not done it yet.
Yeah.
So
So why not do it now?
that's exactly true.
On the spot right now. Let's go.
So
Seriously, go.
that's right. Yeah. That's all we need is 3 chords. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Seriously, go. I don't know how many times I got to say it. Play the guitar. Let's go. But seriously, it's time. Play another one for us, man. We want to hear you again.
All right.
Yeah.
What would you like to play there, Tim?
This was the conversation that we never finished on the way here.
Yeah.
If we're asked to play, what should we play?
Yeah. Do you want to play American Band?
That's a long title for a song.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's do that.
What happened? Did you click off?
I should tune up and probably.
I didn't. Something.
Tune. Since when do we tune?
Why start now?
Tune. Yeah.
This would be a good time for those backing tracks.
No backing tracks with REVDOG.
Somebody's calling
Pure,
my
baby.
name.
Where do you want to start it?
Just the vocals.
Just count us in.
Okay.
1, 2. On the road for 40 days. I started in Little Rock to put me in a heyday. Sweet Mikado was doing her act. She had the whole show, and that's a natural fact, yeah. Up all night, yeah. Freddie King, got to tell you that poker's his thing, yeah. Booze and ladies, they treat me right. As long as we can make it to the show tonight. Well, American band. Well, American band. We're coming to your town. If you're partying down with an American band. There you go. Boy, don't you get us from Omaha. That's where we're done. We're doing. That's good enough. That's how it'll work. We only got an hour, so.
Well, they just stop dead in the middle like that.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. What do you think this is?
You got to come to one of our shows to
pay
hear
for
the
this.
rest.
Even the fans
okay.
didn't applaud.
Okay, hold on.
Where's that button?
Well, you see this smart ass over here? Watch this. It's going to be funny. We're not going to hear his voice anymore in this podcast.
Amazing. He just went away.
Yeah, you know what? Now, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are playing instruments that you normally don't play. You're a drummer.
Yes.
Do you play drums in this band?
No.
You don't.
I did at one time.
You're the drummer in the band.
Tim was actually the backup drummer for years.
Okay.
So when I couldn't make a gig, Tim was always filling in for me.
Okay, because the first time we met was at the Uptown Tap, and he was playing the drums.
Yeah.
So there you go. And tell them the story about how we ask you.
Oh. So yeah, I've drums is my original instrument. I played since I was a kid. And John and I go to church together. We're in the worship band at church, and John's got this band. And as I got to know him, learned about and he said, "Hey, I need a fill-in drummer for such a date." And I was not playing out at all at this time. I was just playing at church, and I thought, "Wow, that's exciting! Yeah, I really raising kids. You know, I was busy anyway, so yeah, that'd be great. Yes, John, I'd love to do it." 2 weeks later, I see him again. I say, John, yeah, that date, again. Oh, and by the way, I don't have any drums.
So I'm like, Tim, if you
So
don't
we
want
stole
to
the
do
drums
it.
out of the church.
So yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that would have been a good idea. But yeah, I'm like, Tim, if you don't want to do it, that's okay.
Yeah, he thought I was making that up. But
Yeah.
no, I never practiced at home to play. I just listened to the music and show up and play it.
Still doesn't.
Yeah, right. Practice? What's that? So I acquired some drums and yeah. So then I
play
was
the gig.
Right.
Like you borrowed a set or something.
No, I bought a used set because I figured, if I'm going to do this, I should anyway, right? So yeah,
Okay.
I bought a used kit. And
Hey, yeah, dude, I got a set of drums here in the back of this truck.
Yeah, totally.
almost.
I stole them from a church.
This guy was an instructor, and he bought and acquired any used drum he could. I went to his house and opened the garage door. It was just filled with drums. He said, "Here, put a few together and give me a couple $100." And,
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they were nothing fancy.
You had a blue one, a red one, a black one.
Yeah. I wound up with a 5-piece kit that were all the same color. And so then, as Tom said, I was backup drummer for REVDOG for a number of years. I had always dabbled in guitar since I was a kid as well, kind of self-taught, and I just jammed a lot back in the day, and always wanted to give that a try. And so a few years ago, John's rhythm guitarist was, let's call it retiring. Can we really retire from? But he was done. They were having grandkids, and he wanted to. He was done. So he stepped out, and I said, "Hey, John, what do you think about me giving that a try?" And he said, "Hell no." No, he didn't.
Well, it was in the back of my head because I had no idea that he played it all. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, how am I going to tell one of my good friends no that he can't?
Well, we had this crazy moment where we had two musicians. It's like all bands. We had two musicians that had decided they didn't want to play anymore. And John and I were sitting at some music concert, and John's like, "Well, what do we do now?" And I said, well, John, I'm not dead yet, so let's figure out where we go from here. And we started going through what musicians that we knew, and I said, well, we know a common musician named Jinsey. And I said, well, Jinsey's a fantastic guitarist and singer. Let's see if we can get him in. And then he goes, well, what about Tim? And I go, oh, wait, Tim plays drums. Don't we have a drummer already? And he's like, well, I'm like, I play guitar, but there's no way I'm playing guitar in this band because I'm not a guitar blues player. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And he goes, well, I think Tim plays guitar, so we're going to bring Tim in. So also we ended up with an excess of drummers and guitarists all together. And everybody kind of took switch of instruments. So Jinsey, who normally plays guitar, played bass, and Tim, who normally plays drums, played guitar, and we went from there.
And later that day, Tim returns to the alley. Hey, dude.
I need a guitar.
You looking for a guitar? Come here. I got a bunch in the back of my truck.
Yeah. And you found this guy that had a bunch of guitar parts in his garage.
There you go.
Which you can do if it's a Fender Strat or a Telecaster.
That's right.
So I showed up at the first practice, and John had a microphone set out in front of me.
And that's where it all went downhill.
Yes. I said that wasn't part of the deal, but evidently it was. So
Because you never put a microphone in front of a drummer.
Well, he wasn't a drummer anymore.
But I got out from behind the drum. But I got to tell you, I'm forever grateful to John for giving me the chance because I love playing. I'm always a drummer, always will be. I love that. And the analogy that I've come up with in making this change is, in that rhythm section is particularly on drums is you're building a brick wall, brick by brick, and it's got to be perfect. If anything's crooked, everyone will notice.
Yeah.
And out front, I feel like I'm splashing color. He's building the brick wall now.
This is getting deep.
I get to splash graffiti on it, and I'm having a ton of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Good or bad, I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah, the
good.
energy is awesome.
Good.
I would say every now and then we run into the problem where we feel like we have two drummers and we're struggling a little bit over the tempo every now and then over who's going to take control. But overall, we work it out in the wash in the
And
end.
hey, you get to call yourself a musician now.
Yeah, I don't go that far.
No, all self-taught.
You've heard that joke before, though, haven't you? You had to have heard that musician's joke
Yeah,
before.
I've seen it on a marquee at a music store. Music lessons for all musicians and drummers.
And drummers. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah. There you go. That needs to be a little longer now. We got to find a different one.
I'll look for another one.
Yeah, I don't know. So how can people find you? We got to talk about that before we get the heck out of here. How you guys got a website, Facebook page? What do you have?
Yeah, we just do the Facebook thing. Yeah, Facebook.com, REVDOG, Man and the Herd. We got to go by the full name because we had
Reverend.
Yeah, it's
Reverend Dogman and the Herd.
So yeah,
Herd
yeah.
spelled with an A.
HEARD.
Like you heard something.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. And everything else is just word of mouth and smoke signals. And we're not, it's funny, this young girl told me that TikTok.
Easy.
Hey, take it easy, Diddy. Okay, come on.
She was in her 50s.
She felt the need to tell me that TikTok is a social media.
She'd explain it to you.
So, yeah. So I'm like, man, okay.
Did she really explain it to you?
Yeah, she's like,
Wow.
and so this is on TikTok, this social media thing. I'm like, oh, really? Is that his?
Yeah.
She didn't refer to it as the TikTok.
So that was me.
So
yeah.
how do I get on the TikTok?
Yeah.
Do I have to call them? And let's see. So what? These guys are going to be coming out in about 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. So what kind of shows? What kind of shows you guys got coming up? And say like April, May, June.
Yeah, at the end of on the 29th of March will be Toughies in Wilmington.
All right.
April 9th, which is a Wednesday, we'll be playing at the Cubby Bear.
The Cubby Bear.
The Cubby Bear. I understand that's a bar in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's the Cubby Bear.
I'm not wearing my Sox jersey, just letting you know.
Yeah, that's a good. So let's see here. And then a couple days after that, we're at Quigley's in Naperville. So it all goes back to Naperville. That's where the band started, Naperville Rib Fest. And it's been a wild ride since the whole time there.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up.
Yes, it does.
We have Reverend Dogman and the Herd, otherwise known as RevDog.
That's what our
right.
friends call us.
Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
Talking
us.
to y'all.
Thank you.
REVDOG. REVDOG.
Gosh, we're ridiculous.
And there's no bourbon in us.
What the hell? I know. What the hell's happening to us?
I don't
know.
know.
What it is. I think, as we get older, we just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's what it is.
I think you're right.
Yeah, you don't get cooler. You just care less about being cool.
Yep, you don't. The only thing I worry about is getting the kids off my lawn. That's it.
That's it.
Get
That's
off my
it.
lawn, I'll be happy.
That's it. Hey, blues rock.
Blues rock.
They got to come up with something. I don't know. Rock and roll from the Delta.
Something
like that.
You got to come up with something cute.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people they don't listen.
Yeah. But they're good musicians. They're
Yes.
fun guys.
They are fun guys.
I bet you they're a lot of fun.
Quite mushroomy.
Yes.
Right. So
On that note,
it's a lot of fun seeing them guys. Get out there and see them. They'll appreciate it. Tell them you heard it from us. And thanks for joining us. Make sure you check in every Tuesday because we come out with another new episode of world famous episode of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. See you next Tuesday.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Oh, Chicago.